This is lesson number 3 of the SAT review. Thanks for coming back. Lesson number 3 starts test number 4 of the SAT test. So there's two math tests on the SAT test. Test number 3 without a calculator and test number 4 with a calculator. And like I said, I'm going to go through the questions one at a time and give you time to try it after I read it. And I'll give suggestions on flashcards. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you all the flashcards that I've made so far that we've gone over, but I'm not going to bore you with it here at the beginning. Okay, test number 4 has got 55 questions. You got 35 minutes, so divide. That's 1.4 minutes per question, or 1 minute and 26 seconds per question, or you can multiply 0.4 times 60 to get that 26 seconds. Some of the questions are going to take a lot longer than others, so just keep that in mind. Some of them are going to take you, hopefully, just you're going to look at it and see the answer, and some of them you're going to have to sit there and play with for a while. All right, again, they give you some formulas, but you might need to make, you probably should just memorize them, because do you really want to go flipping back and forth to find the formulas during the test? It takes away some of the time. All right, number 1. Says John runs at different speeds as part of his training program. The graph shows his target heart rate at different times during his workout. On which interval is the target heart rate strictly increasing and then strictly decreasing? Okay, the answer on number 1 is B. When they talk about strictly increasing, strictly decreasing, they're talking about slope. And remember, when slope goes up the hill from left to right, it's positive. When it goes down the hill from left to right, as you're going and driving a car across the page left to right, then it's negative. So from here to here, we have positive. There's no slope. The car's not going anywhere. There, the car went downhill, uphill, so positive, downhill, negative, uphill, positive, 0, uphill, positive, 0, downhill, negative. All right, so they wanted it strictly increasing and then decreasing. That would be right here. It went increasing and then decreasing. There was no other going left to right. It went increasing, 0, then decreasing, increasing, decreasing, increasing, 0, increasing, 0, negative. Anyway, this is the only place that it happened at, between 40 and 60. So that's slope. I think that covers everything about it. All right, number 2. If y equals kx, where k is a constant and y is equal to 24, when x equals 6, what is the value of y when x equals 5? Should have got C. This problem is called a direct proportion. If you want to Google it at all and look up more examples on the problem. The letter K honestly just means slope. You could really just call it y equals mx. It's a slope. It's just, it doesn't, when it's a direct proportion, it doesn't have a y-intercept or a b value, so that's 0 in that slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So they gave you one set of numbers for the equation, 24 and 6. You're going to use that to find what k is. So when y is 24, k was 6, divide, you get k is 4. So we're going to use that number now with the next number. Put the 4 in for what k is. So that makes y equals 4x. So I plugged in the k, I found the k, we're going to use it now. So if x is equal to 4, you get 20. 4 times 5, 20, or letter C. All right, next one, number 3. In the figure above, lines L and M are parallel, and lines S and T are parallel. If the measure of angle 1 is 35 degrees, what is the measure of angle 2? Okay, you should have got D. I love these problems. I would probably be on the test. I would play around with it forever. I'd put the 35 every place that it goes. You can just honestly, though, hopefully I'll control myself during the test, and I just realize that's 35. Again, a straight line has 180 degrees in it, so 180 minus 35 gives you on it 145. So all the other angles are 145. So if all the lines are parallel, they're either 35 degrees or 145 degrees. This angle is obviously 145 degrees because it's bigger. Number 4. If 16 plus 4x is equal to, is 10 more than 14, what is the value of 8x? Okay, you should have had C. I kind of blew it there when I read it. The word is means equals. More than means plus. So you can make a flashcard with that if you wanted. So that's saying that 16 plus 4x equals 10 more than 14 is more than. And so you've got yourself an equation there to solve. 10 and 14 is 24. Move the 16 over. It's positive 16. So when you move it over, it becomes minus 16. And then so 4x equals 8. So x is equal to 2. So they wanted to know what is 8x. Oh, look at that. They put a 2 on there to mess with you. They're so mean. They want to know what 8x is. So 8 times 2, 16. So again, as I've said before, make sure you look at what they want. They're very ornery. Number 5. Which of the following graphs shows a strong negative association between D and T? Okay, on number 5, you want to have D. That's the first time, honestly, I've seen the word association for slope. Usually they use the word correlation. Correlation, association, they're talking about slope. Again, when slope goes uphill, it's positive. When it goes downhill, left to right, it's negative. So this one does not make a line at all. So there is no correlation on that. This one kind of makes a line, but the correlation on it would be 0 because it has a slope of 0. And here, it's going uphill. It kind of makes a line. I agree. It's pretty close to being a line, but it would have a positive slope. This has a negative slope because it's going downhill. So it has a negative association or a negative correlation. Again, correlation, association just means a slope. Number 6. 1 decagram equals 10 grams. 1,000 milligrams equal 1 gram. A hospital stores one type of medicine in 2 decagram containers. Based on the information given in the box above, how many 1 milligram doses are there in 2 decagon container? Okay, number 6 is D. You could just convert it using what they gave you, I guess. They wanted you to change, and I call it train tracking. We have currently 2 decagons. We don't want it to say decagons. We want to know how many milligrams it's going to be. So not decagrams, milligrams. All right, so we want to get rid of the word decagram on the top and have the word milligram on the top. So working towards it here, 1 decagram is 10 grams. So we can cancel out the word decagram. Then next up, we got 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So that gets rid of the word grams, and then you're left with what you want, which is milligrams. So it's 2 times 10 times 1,000. So that gives you 20,000. There's other ways you can do the problem, but that's one way to do it. Number 7. Okay, we have a graph here that says rooftop solar panel installations in 5 cities. And then down here we got cities. The number of rooftops with solar panel installations in 5 cities is shown in the graph above. If the total number of installations is 27,500, what is the approximate label for the vertical axis of the graph? Okay, you should have had C. It was in thousands, so I don't know, you could kind of just, if you're in a hurry, just realize you want to have thousands. If you want to make a long process out of it, you can say that you have here 9x, and then over here you've got 5x's, and then 6x, and 4x. And this is about between 3 and 4, so 3.5x's. Add up to that total 27,500. So if you add up all of the x's here, 9 plus 5, 14, plus 6, 20, plus 4, 24, and then plus 3 more is 27.5, equals 27,500 divide, and you get x is equal to 1,000. So the graph is counting by thousands. All right, number 8. For what value of n is the absolute value of n minus 1 plus 1 equal to 0? Okay, the answer number 8 is D. Now this potentially is a flashcard for you. If you didn't know that these lines mean absolute value, maybe make a flashcard about that. They said it was equal to 0, so absolute value n minus 1 plus 1, when is that equal to 0? Move the plus 1 over so that you got that group there, that chunk by itself, so that equals negative 1. Well, now that you got that chunk by itself, the thing is, the absolute value of a number is never negative. Any number that comes out of that's positive, so it's never going to happen. So just some examples here. The absolute value of 8 is 8. The absolute value of negative 8 is also 8, because the absolute value is a measure of how far a number is away from 0. Number 9. All right, it says questions 9 and 10 refer to the following information. A is equal to 1,052 plus 1 800 times t. The speed of a sound wave in air depends on the air temperature. The formula above shows the relationship between A, the speed of a sound wave in feet per second, and T, the air temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Number 9. Which of the following expresses the air temperature in terms of a sound wave? Okay, the answer number 9 is A. Now, eyeballing it quick, you can see all of them have t equal to something, so you don't even really need to go back up and figure out, are we trying to solve it for t, or are we trying to solve an A? Obviously, we're going to have to solve it for t. So solving for t up here, I'm going to circle that whole chunk that has the t on it. I need to get it by itself. Just leave it on that side. Don't move it. We want it all by itself. So move the 1,052 over. It's currently positive because there's nothing in front of it. So when you move it over, it becomes negative. Okay, so the t is still not by itself, and it's multiplied by the 1.08, so you have to divide by it. So A minus 1052 divided by 1.8 equals t. And that was what A was. All right, number 10. Number 10 says, at which of the following air temperatures will the speed of a sound wave be closest to 1,000 feet per second? Okay, 10 is B. I would strongly suggest, in case you made a mistake on number 9, to go back up to the actual formula, which was A is equal to 1052 plus 1.08 T. That was what we started with. Don't use what you did here in case you got it wrong. All right, they want to know at which of the following air temperatures will the speed of the sound wave be closest to 1,000 feet per second? So let's go back up. Is that A or is that T? Formula shows relationship between A, the speed of the sound wave in feet per second. Well, that's what they gave us, something in feet per second. So that's A. So 1,000 is A. So I'm going to move that over there and subtract it. So 1,000 minus 1052 equals 1.8 T. So 1,000 minus that is negative 52. And then last of all, I have to divide. So I'm going to use my calculator now. That's a lot to divide. And I would strongly recommend that you buy a really nice calculator like this. Just get to know it, be friends with it. Don't think you can just start using it the day of the test and know how to use a fancy calculator like this. It's not going to happen. You have to play with it and be friends. All right, so 52 divided by 1 point, well, I'll put the negative in for you. So negative is down here. So negative 52 divided by 1.08 is negative 48.14. So there it is, letter B. Number 11. Which of the following numbers is not a solution of the inequality 3x minus 5 greater than or equal to 4x minus 3? Okay, you should have got for the answer on this A. And this one's really fun. It's where you make a classic mistake of not flipping the inequality when you're dividing by a negative number. So again, letters left is what I do and numbers on the right. So I'm going to move that plus 4x to the other side. So it's negative 4x. The minus 5 to the other side becomes a plus 5. So negative 4x and positive 3, different signs subtract. Take the sign of the bigger number. 4 is bigger than 3, so it's going to be negative 1x. Greater than or equal to then 5 and negative 3, again, different signs subtract. 5 is bigger than 3, so the positive wins. It's more positive than negative. Last of all, you got to get rid of that negative on the x. It's a negative 1, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. That's when it's a flipper. You got to flip the inequality. It's greater than right now, but you're going to flip it because you're dividing by a negative number. So that makes it less than or equal to negative 2. So graphing that, so you'll see it visually really quick. Here's the number 0, so negative 1, negative 2. So equal to and everything less than it, so that'd be negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. So it could be equal to negative 2 and everything less than it. So that includes everything except the number negative 1. Again, you flip an inequality if on the very last step, when you divide, it's something on the very last step. When you divide, if the number you divided by is negative, that's what makes it flip. Number 12. It says number of seeds in each of 12 apples, and then down here, number of apples, and then number of seeds. Based on the histogram above, of the following, which is closest to the average, which is the arithmetic mean, for the number of seeds per apple? Okay, you should have for number 12, letter C. This might be a nice flashcard. If you don't know how to find the average or the mean, you can make a flashcard out of it. And back up here, you might want to make a flashcard reminding you to flip it at the last step here if it's negative. I think that's it. All right, so how do I get that answer? So it says we have 3 seeds in 2 apples. So 2 apples have 3 seeds. So 2 of the apples have 3 seeds. And then we have 5 apples that have 4 seeds. Well, no, we have 4 apples with 5 seeds. And then we have 6 seeds in 1 apple. And then we got 7 seeds in 2 apples. And then we have 9 seeds in 3 apples. And you add them all up and you divide by how many apples you have, which were 12 apples. Because that's what it means to find an average. You add all the numbers up and you divide by how many numbers. Okay, what I would have done was you got 3 seeds in 2 apples. You got 5 seeds in 4 apples. You got 6 seeds in 1 apple. And then 7 seeds in 2 apples. Then 9 seeds in 3 apples, and then divided by 12. And if you do all the math on that, when you add them all up, they all add up to 73. And then divide it by 12, you're going to get about 6.08. So that's letter C. Number 13. It says a group of 10th grade students responded to a survey that asked which math course they were currently enrolled in. The survey data were broken down as shown in the table above. Which of the following categories accounts for approximately 19% of all the survey respondents? Okay, the answer on this is C. It says 19% of means multiply. All the survey respondents, so 19% times all of them, so 19% is 0.19, all of them is 310. if you multiply 0.19 times 310, you get about 58.9, which is right there. The male is taking geometry. Okay, number 14. The table above lists the lengths to the nearest inch of a random sample of 21 brown bullhead fish. The outlier measurement of 24 inches is an error. Of the mean, median, and range of the values listed, which will change the most if the 24-inch measurement is removed from the data? Okay, the answer is C, the range. Okay, eyeballing it here, they listed the numbers least to greatest for us, which was super kind of them. Remember, the median is the number in the middle of the list when they're least to greatest, so that's going to be the number 12, and there's lots of 12s in there. So if we take the number 24 off of it, that number's still going to be in the middle when they're listed least to greatest. Okay, and then the mean is going to probably, so this is probably going to be the same within like one of them. It's going to be 13, maybe 11, but it's probably 12. It's going to be 12. And then the mean, you add them all up and divide by how many there are. That's going to change a little bit. It's going to go down a little if you take out the 24, but it's not going to move a lot. The range is the biggest number, which is 28 minus the smallest number, and that's going to change by 16. That's a lot. All right, if you want to overachieve on it, let me show you how to do that. A fast way to do it, using the calculator, you can go to the word stat on the second row, leave it on edit, so just hit stat, and you got to go up to the top column. If there's anything there, hit clear, and then go down, it clears it. And then you've got to enter all the numbers. We have 8, and then 9 3 times, and then 10 twice, and then 11, and then 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we got 13 3 times, and then 14 twice, 15 twice, 16, and then 24. Okay, so I have, that says 22 right now, so if you go up one, I've got 21 numbers on my list, so checking it here, 3, 6, 7 times 3, 21. I got all of them. And let me just eyeball the numbers here, make sure I don't have anything crazy entered. I don't. All right, so go back to the word stat. Go over 1, use the arrow, go over to calculate. It's the very first choice, number 1. Hit enter, and go down, hit calculate. So X with the bar on top of it means the mean. So with all the numbers that they gave us on the list, the mean is 12.4. Use the arrow, go down. You get to the median is 12. The calculator doesn't give you the range, which is a sad story. The range again was 24 minus 8, the biggest number minus the smallest number, which was 16. Okay, and then again, in the name of overachieving on this math problem for you, oh shoot, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, no, they're all there. All right, so the X with the bar on top of it is the average or the mean. X, that's sigma. Sigma X means the sum of all my numbers on the list added to 262. If you square all the numbers and then add